Hey everybody, just in from a run, quick 5 miles on lunch. And you know, it's funny, it's minus 14 today, the wind is gusting over 90 kilometers, and I wouldn't miss this for the world.
It's really hard to explain if people don't know Michael. He's just the perfect person to me.
When he comes into a room, you can see his presence, but when you connect with him, you can feel his presence.
He's so vibrant and enthusiastic and positive. He's been like that all of his life.
He's an energy bubble.
He fills the room.
Happy, outgoing, very friendly.
Very motivated, very intelligent.
He's got that combination of the ability to be honest with himself about where he is and what he's facing, and to be open and honest about his feelings, and then to look for that opportunity and that positivity within it so he can keep moving forward. And to me, that's one of his superpowers.
He should get a big S tattooed on his chest because he's a Superman, he's the super guy.
Everything he doesn't do it selfishly. He does it for, for everybody.
He inspires me, that's the thing. He really does inspire me, and he's just a beautiful young man, I think.
He's definitely one of a kind.
My name is Mike Dawe. I'm freshly turned 36 years old. I'm proud father of two, married to a beautiful wife, and on August 29th of this year, at 9:55 in the morning, I was diagnosed with metastatic thyroid cancer.
We do, yeah, Michael.
Oh, God love his heart, look.
Just going into work this morning, and it's hard. Like, this is one of those days where the emotions are really, really high. I was reading some of my pathology reports last night, and it's so scary reading, like, your name at the top of the page, man. And,
Oh, my goodness.
metastatic cancer, this is high-risk disease. Like, there's unbelievable stuff on this page. Like, it's really, it's one of these days where the emotions are really at the forefront here, and I don't know, sometimes you just gotta let it out, I guess, but oh my goodness, sometimes it's still so surreal that
This is
it
sin.
feels like you're watching a movie of your own self, and yet here we are, that, this is the situation and it's not going anywhere, so oh my goodness. Gotta just work through this. This will pass. We're off to a tough start, but let's make this day better. Okay. I work as a registered nurse in a community-based mental health program called the YACC team. And basically, it's a whole mental health care team that works with clients in the community. So we bring a whole mental health care team to you. Before we go into every single house, there has to be a mask, a head shield, a full suit of armor, like a yellow suit that I was wearing. And as I put the mask on my face, it falls off my right ear. As I'm putting it back on, just feel this part of my neck as I'm putting it back on by complete fluke. I feel this somewhat like a golf ball, like the back of a spoon, just right here on the lower side of my neck. So I go see my GP the next day about it. It's so vague, like, she was saying, it's likely nothing, it's, but in the abundance of caution, we're gonna get it looked at. Blood works, biopsies, just the whole workup. And I started seeing an ENT specialist.
And the morning he was getting the report, he was going by himself, and I said to his father, I said, let's just go up and wait outside the doctor's office because, I'm sure everything is okay, but you never know. I don't know what prompted us to go in and wait for him, but it was the best thing we could have ever done.
I was at work that day, and he had his appointment but COVID. We couldn't go in with him, and he told me he'll call me after. When the receptionist handed the ENT my chart, he started looking at it because he had the biopsy results. So he calls my name, I walk into the office, and he sits down and asks me how my day is.
And before I even answered, yeah, it's best kind, by how are you? He had his glasses off and he took his mask off. And that's when I realized, like, oh boy. He said, you know, there's no other way to put this, but you know, the results are back. The growth in your neck is cancerous and you have a tumor in your neck. You talk about disintegrating into the chair. Boy, oh boy. There aren't many things that leave me speechless. It's hard to explain. There's no way to really explain what that feels like. It's like I blacked out in the middle of the day. And when I left Dr. Lee's office, I was really just so rocked by the news and just struggling to wrap my head around it all. I just said, can you just write down the specific type of cancer I have? And so he wrote it on a sheet of paper.
Honestly, we saw him coming and he was looking towards the ground and he had a paper in his hand and he kept looking off. And I said to Wayne, I said, there's something going on here. I said, this is not good.
I just handed them the note and it said papillary thyroid carcinoma.
You know, it was just the shock of it. None of us were expecting that. So I got out and he opened the back seat and he fell into the back seat of the car with his head back. Oh my God, we were all speechless because right there and then, his life changed.
It's not very often that my folks and I are sitting around and don't have anything to say. Very, very odd feeling in the car at that moment.
The father's supposed to be the protector of the family. I wasn't the protector. This was something that they couldn't be cured with a kiss.
I just picked myself up and drove to the clinic that Shanine was working at the time. And she was in the middle of a staff meeting and I just knocked on the door. I just kind of motioned at her to come over. I just showed her the same sheet of paper that I showed Mom and Dad, and it's the second time in my life I've ever seen Shanine cry.
I think it was just like sad and like frustrated. I was 33 weeks pregnant and you know, it was just not what we had planned.
I actually don't remember what happened the next part of that day, which goes to show like how, I don't know, lights on, no one home I was. I don't remember what I did next. Just to have this come out of nowhere when I'd been almost guaranteed that it was nothing.
The doctors and all that were so positive. Oh yeah, it's usually nothing, it doesn't feel bad, and you know, just because of the size of it, we're going to biopsy, but we're expecting everything to be okay, and it was quite the opposite, and that's what the shock of it all.
The biopsy came back and showed that it spread to like my neck muscles and my adjacent lymph nodes. So all of a sudden, like, we've gone from 0 to 1,000,000 in, I don't know, a couple days. All of a sudden, there's all these tests we gotta run. There's all this prep work. We got a surgery coming. The wheels are suddenly spinning quickly in a direction that I didn't exactly plan. There's a billion things that I'm not in control of, so the things that I am in control of and the things that I can at least positively influence, I've really got to buy into that. So let's start checking off the boxes, doing everything we're told, and buckle up, because it's about to get, you know, hairy for a little while, right?
He was so positive, I couldn't believe it. You know, we're doing this, we're gonna get it, I'm gonna do what I have to do. That was his saying, I gotta do what I have to do to fight this. It was just absolutely amazing the way he handled it.
You could lose a lot of energy in terms of asking yourself, why the hell is this happening to me? And why me? Why did I deserve that? But you can't spend too much time or dump too much energy on that. You know, we only have so much energy in the day. You know, again, we got to focus on the way forward.
Michael, you are the son I never had, and we're proud. We're proud of you. Michael's parents are a huge inspiration. Both of them. I know that's where Michael got it from. Was from Wayne and Marion, for sure.
I'm positive too, but Wayne is just, I see his influence in that area much more.
I agree with her.
I want to stand up to this, I want to fight back, and I want to set an example for the kids. I want to show my wife what I'm made of. I want to tackle this head on, full steam ahead, and away we go. I was very clear with the doctors, be like, okay, what do we got to do? A surgery? Okay, well, you got to know my wife is 33, 34 weeks pregnant, wherever we were at that time.
So we're like, okay, cool, like 36 weeks pregnant, we'll have a few weeks, you'll recover, and then I'll have my surgery because I was having a C-section.
I eventually had the surgery on a Monday. Our baby girl was born that Saturday night. I was like 72 hours out of hospital.
It all happened together. We had both had surgery the same week and a new baby, and it was just surreal.
I was on all these precautions of, can't lift over 5.5 pounds. Well, I had to take it upon myself to make sure that I could lift 8 pounds, 4.5 ounces, because our beautiful baby girl Darcy was born on that Saturday night, and you better believe Daddy's got to hold her. My wife's birthday is in September. This was also around the time of our anniversary, but that was just going to be on the heels of my radioactive isolation treatment. I just didn't know what I was going to be feeling like mentally, physically. So in August, I pulled in a couple favors, had the kids looked after, and had a super sneak attack birthday, anniversary, surprise, full weekend affair planned out for Shanine. Funny as it is, I was walking on a hike with Shanine. Who do we see walking around the trail on the hike that we were on? Mr. Jeff Eaton himself.
Mike and I have known each other casually and peripherally for 20 years. And then, this summer, I was hiking Signal Hill on a beautiful morning, and I ran into Mike and his wife, Shanine, and I had just seen a post from him about a new challenge in his life. And we had a great chat on the hill that morning, and then just agreed to get together for a coffee, which we did.
I mentioned to him that I have an idea and I wanted to get a hold of him and talk to him about it. There's a road race in town called the Cape to Cabot 20-kilometer road race. It's a grueling 20-kilometer hill race from Cape Spear to Cabot Tower. And I've been diagnosed with cancer, and it's flipped my world upside down. But the way that I've been coping with this, among other things, is through exercise. And I saw this opportunity for a very positive message, but also a very strong example of fighting through a sudden cancer diagnosis to be set here.
We just started talking about his experience and where he was and what he was going through. And I could tell he wanted to do something. He needed a purpose and something to focus on.
He always seems to want something to go towards, like he needs a goal when he's exercising. He really thrives when he's got a goal.
He was planning to run the Cape to Cabot anyway. I think it would have been his 7th, but then he decided to give it an extra layer of purpose. And that was really this idea of the Get YACC Challenge, and he was challenging people to get YACC. And he was basically turning his Cape to Cabot into a dedicated run to raise funds and awareness of YACC and for YACC and the young adults with cancer just like him.
There's 22 young adults diagnosed with some form of cancer in Canada every day. And again, on April 29th this year, I was one of them. I just challenged family and friends and coworkers and anybody who I could get to bend an ear to the situation. I challenged them to set a goal for themselves. I started just posting regularly about the Get YACC Challenge and, here's things that I'm doing. When I went into my radioactive isolation treatment in the hospital, I brought in my triathlon bike. Well, if that's what I gotta do to keep my head together for the next 4 days or whatever it was in the room by myself, man, when you're the person in the room, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's the day before radioactive treatment, Thursday the 16th of September. I just dropped Damon off for the last time before I go into hospital tomorrow, and between the treatment and then home isolation, I'm not going to be able to drop him off at daycare for a little while. I miss it. I'm going to see all his, I just said to his teachers how much it means that, he's in such a safe and happy place in the meantime, but these are the things that you're going to miss, man, because of the hospital treatments. Here we go. Another hospital day, another day on the bike. It's crazy what you'll do when you're Desperate, right? Every bit of water I drink and pee it out, that's more of the radioactive medicine coming out of me. Same thing with the bike. Every pedal stroke is gonna help me sweat out more of this radioactive medicine, get me safer to Shneen and Darcy and Damon. I won't miss this, but this is what I gotta do to get out of here. Let's put the pedal to the floor. Hopefully getting out soon. Have a great day, everybody.
So he went in on a Friday morning. He just had to have a hospital admission for the weekend.
Oh, man. Oh, throw that in the garbage.
He came home on a Monday, and the whole week after he had to basically keep his distance from me and the baby and Damon. So where Damon is, he was only just turned 3. He didn't realize that or understand that Dad couldn't hold him or, play with him because he had to keep his distance. So it was a rough week.
There's days that we're all just so thankful and appreciative of having the medicines and science and facilities and personnel and research and availability of services that we do. And there's days that, boy, this just sucks. I don't know, you just gotta cry it out sometimes because you gotta let those emotions out. You can't let that build up. The way that I've been coping with this, among other things, is through exercise. I run almost every day. And listening to my feet hit the pavement, that's the time where I take to myself to just hit the reset button.
I think for Mike, he has always been an athlete. It has been part of him, where sports and activity are almost like a drug. It gives you a high, it gives you exhilaration. And obviously, I think anybody who's ever worked out can say that they appreciate how it makes them feel good.
He loves it. He just finds it just clears his mind and therapeutic for him, I think.
Cape to Cabot, especially that one is so grueling. I don't know where he gets the strength or the stamina, and he'll always choose something incredibly brutal.
It is the day before showtime. It is the day before the Cape Cabot 2021. A lot of people, a lot of energy in the room, and it is a lot of emotions going on. I'm just excited to be here, man. Holy cow. It's a lot going on right now, but it's all positive. Anyone that knows me has probably been made aware that Mr. Joel Plaskett is definitely my musical hero, and to be sitting front row at his shows for last night and tonight, and then letting it rip at the race tomorrow. Couldn't ask for much more of a stronger weekend. I'm excited. When I first got diagnosed with cancer, one of my friends called in a couple favors and made Joel aware of the situation.
He sent him a song that he's just sat down, played, and sent it to Michael. Michael was overwhelmed.
This is a video for Mike Dawe. I hear you're in the midst of it, man, and that's a tough fight, but I wish you the best on it. And we'll get back to Newfoundland soon. When somebody sent me your picture and told me what's shaking, I thought, oh, that's Mike Dawe. I recognize that. I recognize you from the photographs, and so I hope you get better soon. I've had a friend going through a similar thing recently, and he's on the mend now. So I'll sing you a little tune, and we'll get back to Newfoundland soon enough, and look forward to seeing you there.
His jaw hit the floor and never came back till it was over. It was really special and so sweet of Joel to do that,
I'm out of practice. Forgive me. It's dusk as all the shadows fall. The sun is laid to rest.
Michael is a great fan, and he always sits in the front row of the Arts and Culture Centre, and I'm sure he makes himself known.
I was front row center at the show last night, and I'll be in the same spot again tonight. I can't wait to be, it's the exact type of thing I want to be doing to get ready for this race tomorrow, but also to go break bread and have a chat with the man after and just talk about how much his music means to me.
Hey, hi.
Mr. Plaskett, how are you?
How you doing, man?
And thank you. It's so good to see you,
Oh,
man.
dude, you too.
Since I launched the Get You Active Challenge a month ago, I talked about how this was the goal date, October 17th, encouraging people to get up, get moving, challenge themselves, set goals. The strong mind can lead the body anywhere. And just talking about my lived experience, it gave me so much strength, but also helped other people deal with whatever they were dealing. And the response that I got from it was so overwhelming. It was unanimously positive of, support, appreciation, and it was very well received. And, I brought all of that energy that I put into the Get You Active Challenge into race day for me, which was the Cape to Cabot on October 18th.
All right, best wishes, man. See you soon.
Good morning. Check your watches. It's race day. Let's go. I actually snuck out of the house here without waking the wife or kids up on race day, which I knew was going to be a win in itself. I knew I was off to a hot start that day. It was absolutely freezing cold on race day. I mean, it was frigid. Here we are. It is race day 2021, Cape to Cabot. It is so awesome to be here. Again, thank you everybody for the support. It's freaking cold, but we're gonna get going. It's gonna be an awesome day. Good luck to everybody. I can't wait to see you all at the finish line. I was running for everybody that had been in a similar situation, for other young adults that have been diagnosed with cancer, and especially for people that maybe weren't able to run that day.
He was asked to pick somebody to pass him the flag down there, and then he was like, who better than Uncle Bob? Because his daughter, Julie, my cousin, she was also diagnosed with thyroid cancer. I think Mike felt a connection there and thought it would be a good idea for him to pass him the flag.
It was a memorable day, and I can remember after he passed and we had a great chat, and we took a few minutes off his time because of the photo op and everything he had to do. It was a wonderful, wonderful, inspiring day.
I carried the flag proudly over my shoulder the whole last mile. I just wanted to be a visual representation of standing up to cancer and fighting back. Let's go! Yeah!
Woo! Seeing him coming up the hill bringing that flag, oh my God, you need a heart of steel to watch it and not be moved by it. And his stamina and his zeal and his desire to do it. He inspires me.
Here comes Mike Dawe, 118.
I crossed the finish line and then I just collapsed into my wife's arms and it all came out of me.
When he was diagnosed and when he had his surgery, he wanted to focus on something, and he put all his focus to doing that race. So when he finally crossed the finish line, it was just I don't know, something good, something positive that he worked towards.
You're the biggest champ. You're the biggest champ there is. Fucking amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you for believing in this.
Oh my God, you believe in this, man. This is you. This is all you do. He got a response back from his community that was overwhelming and powerful. Raised over 10 grand, connected with a whole bunch of other young adults that he was in his circle that he didn't know and some he knew, and brought them into the YACC family. It was just an incredibly powerful initiative.
Most challenging but most honest and true things about this is that it's easiest when you have 4 little eyes looking up at you. I'm trying to set an example for the kids. The cancer could either make me stronger or it could make me weaker, and I'm absolutely choosing to, focus on the positives, to charge into this. So again, try not to get too up, try not to get too down.
The radioactive iodine, the pill that he took, it takes full 9 months to do its job. And then after the 9 months, they'll do a scan to see if everything is gone, all the cancer cells.
My understanding is that the variant of the cancer that I have, this is the most aggressive form of thyroid cancer, and it's one that has been explained to me that it's expected to come back in my life, likely multiple times.
He's got a battle still ahead of him. But listen, if there's one individual that you want to give the battle saber to, who's going to fight this and beat this, it's Mike. I've seen it beat before, my daughter done it, and I'm sure Mike can do it too.
The energy level is so great in Michael that if anyone will beat it, it's Michael.
When I come home and I just spend my time with my wife and my kids, that's definitely where I'm happiest. And that's absolutely what gives me the most wind in the sail, for sure.
That's his go-to. And that's going to continue to be his go-to because that's who he is. Family is first.
One thing that cancer certainly does is that whether it's real or perceived, you feel like there's so many parts of your life that you're no longer in control of. But man, I'm way too focused on the positives here. And I am absolutely determined and dialed in, and I will continue to have that mindset.
As he says often, I don't want to be doing this. It's the last thing I want to be doing. But he's into it, so he wants a goal, and he needs something to shoot for and focus on. And that Cape to Cabot gave him that. That Get Active Challenge gave him that. And I know he's checked that off, and he feels great about it. And now he's excited about the next thing.
It's dusk as all the shadows fall. The sun is laid to rest. At night this city comes to life as the light dies in the west. Here we stand as some local band spins circles round the clock. Smoke so thick you need a lighthouse, so loud I can't hear myself talk. Someone whispered in my ear, it's not like it was before. I don't know what happened here, I guess we just got bored. The good old days, well I suppose I'm glad they're behind me now. The only thing worse than growing up is never quite learning how. Late at night when we toss and we turn, lay awake till dawn. We close our eyes as the sun comes up and we're gone, we're gone.